All right, Taurus, let's get into your reading. So, the energy that I have for you today is this, and it carries real weight behind it. There is a high profile individual out there, and they genuinely cannot stop thinking about you. This person holds a very prominent position, and two specific things about you captivate them deeply. It is not surface level attraction at all. This goes far beyond simple admiration or flattery. Let us come in close today because the cards are painting a very vivid picture here. They find themselves drawn to qualities in you, things that most people overlook entirely without thought. Those two unusual things are not what you would expect, and that is exactly why they matter. You did not try to stand out on purpose, and yet you left a permanent mark on them. This person has encountered hundreds of impressive individuals, but none of them lingered the way you did. Something about your energy disrupted their entire frame of reference, and they have not recovered since. The impression you made was immediate and unshakable, and it only grew stronger with every passing day. They carry the memory of you like a question they cannot answer, and it consumes their thoughts. So, the first card I have for you is the Star, and this already confirms everything. The Star tells me that one unusual thing about you is your completely authentic inner radiance. You carry a light within you that does not perform, it does not seek validation at all. This person noticed that glow immediately, and it stopped them completely in their tracks that day. Most individuals they encounter try hard to impress them, but you never once attempted any of that. Your composure felt effortless to them, and that distinction registered on a level they rarely experience. The Star confirms you possess a genuineness that cannot be manufactured, and they recognized it instantly. In their world of curated images and rehearsed charm, your transparency felt almost otherworldly to them. They kept replaying that quality in their mind afterward, trying to understand why it affected them. Nobody in their circle possesses that kind of unforced magnetism, and it haunts them in the best way. That radiance you hold is the first unusual thing, and it shifted their perception of everyone else. Now, the next card coming through is the Emperor, and this shifts the reading quite a bit. The Emperor reveals the second unusual quality, and it surprised even me when this card appeared. You hold a quiet authority in how you move through spaces, and it commands silent respect. This person occupies a powerful position themselves, yet something about your presence made them feel steadied. They are accustomed to being the dominant force in every room, but you shifted that dynamic entirely. It was not intimidation or competition at all. It was a grounded energy matching their own frequency. The Emperor says they have never encountered that pairing before. Calm confidence alongside genuine warmth together. That combination is precisely what mesmerized them, because nobody in their circle carries both qualities at once. You made authority feel safe instead of threatening, and for this person, that was a complete revelation. They realized you operate from an inner foundation that does not waver, and it drew them closer. Your grounded nature is the second unusual thing, and together with your radiance, it became unforgettable. Then we have the Two of Wands, and this card brings in a very revealing detail. The Two of Wands shows this person already contemplating a future, one that somehow includes you. They have been weighing their options carefully, and every single path keeps circling back to your name. This card tells me they view you as a rare discovery, not a passing moment of curiosity. Their fascination with those two qualities has only deepened over time, not faded in the slightest bit. The Two of Wands confirms they are actively considering how to bridge the distance between you. You awakened something in this high-profile individual, something they believed was no longer even possible. Those two unusual things about you, your radiance and your grounded presence, changed everything for them. They are mesmerized because you offered something rare, what no amount of status could ever replicate. Now, let us go deeper into this because your own energy is telling a very important story. You have been carrying a heaviness inside of you lately, and it sits right beneath the surface. There is a quiet exhaustion that lives in your chest, and you have not spoken about it openly. Part of you feels invisible in your own life, like your depth goes unrecognized by those around. You give so much warmth and presence to others, yet rarely receive that same attention in return. It has created a loneliness that you mask well, but inside it weighs on you more than expected. The first card pulled is the Moon, and it speaks directly to what you have been feeling. The Moon says you have been navigating through a fog of deep uncertainty, and clarity feels distant. Your emotions have been shifting without warning, and some nights your own thoughts feel unfamiliar to you. You question whether you are enough, and that doubt creeps in during your most vulnerable, quiet moments. The Moon confirms there are emotional layers within you still unexplored, and they are surfacing now. You sense something shifting and changing internally, a transformation beneath conscious awareness that unsettles you deeply. Old wounds you thought had healed are pulsing again, reminding you that some healing still awaits completion. Your intuition has been louder than usual, pulling you toward truths you have been avoiding for months. The Moon reveals you are standing at an emotional threshold, and crossing it feels terrifying yet necessary. You have spent so long managing everyone else's perception of you that you lost touch with your own. The weight of that disconnect has been building silently, and your body holds the tension from it. You have been pretending that certain feelings do not exist, but your spirit refuses that denial now. The next card coming through is the Nine of Cups, and this carries a profound emotional message. The Nine of Cups shows that deep down, you already know exactly what fulfillment looks like for you. You have envisioned it countless times in quiet moments, that specific feeling of being truly cherished completely. It is not material abundance you crave. It is the emotional richness of being genuinely understood deeply. The Nine of Cups tells me your heart holds a very specific wish, one you guard protectively. You rarely voice that desire out loud because vulnerability in that area has cost you something painful. There is a tenderness inside you that you protect fiercely, and it takes real courage to do that. The Nine of Cups confirms your emotional capacity is extraordinary, and that depth is your greatest treasure. You feel things at a frequency most people cannot access, and that has always set you apart. Then we have the Queen of Wands, And this card illuminates something essential about your core nature. The Queen of Wands says you carry a fire within you, one that circumstances have temporarily dimmed. Your confidence has been quieter recently, not because it disappeared, but because life demanded you turn inward. You possess a creative force and a magnetic warmth, and it defines how you move through every space. The Queen of Wands confirms that even in seasons of doubt, your inner flame never fully extinguishes. You have survived situations that would have shattered most people, and you rebuilt yourself every time. That resilience is woven into your identity now, and it forms the foundation of everything you are. Your spirit carries a boldness that retreats sometimes, but it always returns stronger than it was before. You have an inner knowing that refuses to settle, and it has protected you through your darkest chapters. The Queen of Wands reveals you are entering a new season where that fire begins to reignite. You have been dimming yourself to fit smaller spaces, and your energy is rejecting that pattern entirely. Everything within you is preparing for expansion, and your soul recognizes this shift even before your mind. You are not broken or behind or lost. You are mid-transformation, and that requires patience with yourself. Your entire being is recalibrating towards something greater, and the discomfort you feel confirms that growth. You are far more powerful than recent doubts suggest, and every card in this reading confirms that truth. Okay, let us go ahead and get into it because this person's inner world is incredibly layered. This person has been sitting with emotions they did not expect, and it has shaken their composure. They occupy a position of visibility and influence, but privately they feel completely undone by what happened. Nobody around them suspects the depth of what they are processing, and they prefer it that way. Their public image demands control and certainty, yet internally they are navigating something they cannot rationalize. The encounter with that particular energy left an imprint on them, and it refuses to fade quietly. They have tried distraction and distance and burying themselves in work, but nothing dulls the sensation. Every strategy they normally rely on to regain control has failed them, and that has never happened before. They have replayed certain moments obsessively, searching for logic behind why their reaction was so intense. The first card for their side is the King of Cups, and this confirms their emotional state. The King of Cups says this person is accustomed to managing feelings, and they excel at suppression. They built their entire identity around emotional discipline, and nothing has ever truly penetrated that armor before. What disturbs them most is not the feeling itself, but the realization that their defenses failed completely. The King of Cups reveals a tenderness beneath their controlled exterior, one they buried deliberately years ago. They convinced themselves that vulnerability was a liability in their world, and they operated accordingly, without exception. This person learned early that showing emotion invited exploitation, so they locked that part of themselves away. The King of Cups tells me they are experiencing a fracture in that carefully constructed emotional wall. Feelings they sealed off decades ago are resurfacing now, and the intensity of it terrifies them profoundly. They do not understand why this particular connection penetrated so deep, and that mystery consumes their thoughts. This person is privately overwhelmed by how much they feel, and they have no framework for processing it. The next card appearing for them is the Hermit, and it reveals something deeply private about their situation. The Hermit says this person has been withdrawing from their usual social obligations, and people have noticed. They need solitude to process what stirred inside them, because the noise of their life drowns it out. In quiet moments alone, they allow themselves to feel the full magnitude of what this connection triggered. The Hermit confirms they have been conducting an internal investigation, questioning everything they believed about themselves before. Their identity feels disrupted at its foundation, and they are privately reconstructing their understanding of what matters. This person is realizing that status and accomplishment alone cannot fulfill the emptiness they have been ignoring. The Hermit reveals they have been journaling or mentally cataloging every detail, trying to preserve the memory. They fear that if they do not hold on to it consciously, the feeling will dissolve like everything else. Then we have the Six of Swords, and this card exposes a critical shift happening within their psyche. The Six of Swords says this person is mentally transitioning away from old beliefs about their own needs. They spent years convincing themselves that emotional independence was strength, and now that conviction is crumbling entirely. The Six of Swords confirms they are leaving behind a version of themselves, one that no longer functions. Privately, they acknowledge that isolation has cost them something irreplaceable, and the awareness stings more than expected. This person is mid-passage between who they were and who this connection is demanding they become. The Six of Swords tells me their mind is already traveling toward acceptance, even if resistance remains. They cannot return to who they were before this encounter, and somewhere deep inside, they already know that. Their inner world is a storm of contradiction right now, discipline warring against raw desire constantly. Every logical argument they construct to dismiss this feeling collapses because the emotion outweighs the reasoning. This person is quietly breaking open, and the mesmerizing quality of what they felt is the catalyst entirely. So let us see what the cards are showing today, because real movement is happening very deliberately. This person is not sitting still anymore, and the steps they are taking are calculated and intentional. They have already begun repositioning themselves in ways that create proximity, and none of it is accidental. Meetings are being arranged, schedules are being adjusted, and certain conversations are being initiated with quiet purpose. This person has started reaching out through indirect channels, testing the waters before making any visible move. They are gathering information discreetly, asking questions about routines and availability without raising any suspicion at all. Their approach is measured and strategic because their position demands that every action carries minimal public risk. They cannot afford missteps in their world, so each move is rehearsed before it reaches the external stage. Behind every calculated decision, the precision reveals just how seriously they are treating this entire pursuit. The first card here is the Knight of Wands, and this confirms rapid forward momentum in their actions. The Knight of Wands says this person has shifted from contemplation into pursuit, and the pace is accelerating. They made a decision recently to stop overthinking and start acting, and that shift happened almost overnight. Plans that existed only in their mind are now being executed, step by step, with growing determination. Knight of Wands confirms they are actively clearing obstacles, removing anything that blocks a direct route. Professional commitments are being rearranged specifically to open windows of time, and the pattern is unmistakable. They have delegated responsibilities they normally guard closely, freeing themselves for something they consider far more important. Knight of Wands tells me their energy has shifted dramatically, from hesitation into bold and focused action. Social circles are being navigated with precision, and introductions are being sought through trusted mutual connections carefully. They are engineering encounters that appear organic, but every detail has been planned with meticulous attention beforehand. This person has rehearsed approaches in their mind multiple times, refining their strategy after each walkthrough. The next card coming through is the Eight of Pentacles, and this reveals the discipline behind their pursuit. Eight of Pentacles says this person is treating it like a craft, one they are determined to perfect. They are studying patterns and preferences, investing time into understanding what would create the ideal opening moment. Nothing about their approach is impulsive, despite the intensity. Every step follows a carefully constructed blueprint. Eight of Pentacles confirms they have been putting in consistent effort, daily and focused, toward this goal. Messages are being drafted and redrafted, worded precisely to strike the right tone without revealing too much. They are building foundations quietly, establishing presence in shared spaces and making themselves visible at strategic intervals. The Eight of Pentacles reveals they have enlisted trusted allies to assist, people who understand discretion completely. Resources are being allocated toward this pursuit, and the investment of time and energy continues to increase. Then we have the Page of Swords, and this card shows the intelligence driving every tactical decision. The Page of Swords says this person has been monitoring communication channels, watching for signals and openings. They are analyzing every interaction for clues about receptivity, reading between the lines with sharp and focused clarity. Page of Swords confirms they have already identified the optimal moment, the exact window to make their move. Digital footprints are being left intentionally, subtle enough to maintain deniability, but frequent enough to register clearly. They are positioning themselves at the intersection of opportunity and timing, waiting for the precise moment to act. The Page of Swords tells me their next move is imminent, and the groundwork has already been completed. Every piece of this approach has been assembled with patience, and the final action is now being prepared. This high-profile individual is moving toward contact with absolute certainty, and nothing will divert that trajectory. Now, let us go deeper into this, because what this person privately confesses is breathtaking, honestly. This person carries admissions inside them, things they have never spoken aloud to a single living soul. The weight of what they feel is immense, and the secrecy around it only amplifies the intensity. They have entire conversations with you in their mind, saying everything they wish they could say openly. Late at night, when the world quiets down, they rehearse confessions they know they may never deliver. The vulnerability of what they hold terrifies them because admitting it would change everything they have built. They guard these confessions like fragile glass, afraid that exposure would strip them of all perceived strength. Their desire is not casual or fleeting. It is the kind that reshapes a person from the inside. They confess silently that they have never felt this consumed by another presence in their entire life. The first card pulled here is the Ace of Cups, and this reveals the purest confession of all. Ace of Cups says this person privately admits that what they feel qualifies as absolute devotion. They did not choose this feeling deliberately. It overtook them, and they have no ability to reverse it. Ace of Cups confirms they confess to themselves daily that this connection altered their emotional blueprint. In their most honest, private moments, they acknowledge that nobody before has ever penetrated this deeply within. They whisper to themselves that this is different from anything prior, and the distinction haunts them constantly. The Ace of Cups tells me their hidden desire is total emotional union, nothing partial or conditional. They crave the experience of being fully witnessed by the one presence that actually reached their core. This person confesses that their ambition and status feel hollow now, measured against what this connection promises. Everything they accumulated pales in comparison, measured against the singular moment they felt truly recognized. They admit privately that they would surrender control for the first time if it meant being truly close. That confession shocks even them because control has been their lifeline and their identity for decades. The next card coming through is the Lovers, and this unveils the most intimate, hidden truth they carry. The Lovers says this person secretly desires a merging that transcends the physical, something almost sacred entirely. Their confession is not merely attraction, it is a longing to be spiritually intertwined with one specific soul. The Lovers confirms they fantasize about a bond where every wall dissolves and total transparency remains between. They desire to be the one who receives your unfiltered truth and to offer theirs completely in return. This person privately confesses they have imagined a life restructured entirely around this particular connection. The Lovers tells me they hold a secret wish to be chosen deliberately, not by default or convenience. They desire to be wanted with that same overwhelming intensity, the kind they silently carry within themselves. That particular confession reveals a hunger for reciprocity, something their position has never actually provided them. Their confession includes a raw admission that loneliness at their level of visibility feels uniquely suffocating. Then we have the Seven of Cups, and this card exposes the depth of their unspoken fantasies completely. Seven of Cups says this person has constructed elaborate private visions of what togetherness could actually feel. They imagine mornings without performance and evenings without pretense, a space where masks become permanently unnecessary altogether. Seven of Cups confirms their deepest hidden desire is simplicity with the one who sees beyond everything. They confess to wanting conversations that strip away titles and achievements, leaving only two souls exposed together. This person secretly admits they are exhausted by the facade, and they crave the relief of authenticity. The Seven of Cups reveals they desire to be loved not for their position, but for their humanity. Their most guarded confession is this: they have already decided internally that this connection is irreplaceable entirely. Every hidden admission points to the same truth. This person is privately and completely devoted to you already. Okay, let us go ahead and dive into this because the near future holds something very significant. The cards confirm that a direct encounter with this person is approaching, and it arrives within weeks. Their careful preparation is about to culminate in a moment of unmistakable and deliberate contact with you. The timing aligns with a social gathering or professional event where proximity becomes unavoidable for you both. This person will initiate a conversation that feels casual on the surface, but carries tremendous weight beneath. You will sense immediately that their words hold deeper meaning, and your intuition will confirm that instantly. This moment has been building across every layer of this reading, and now it crystallizes into something real. The universe has been orchestrating this intersection quietly, and the timing will feel almost impossibly precise. Nothing about this convergence is random or accidental. Every element has been guided toward this exact moment. The first card for the near future is the Ten of Cups, and it points toward emotional fulfillment. Ten of Cups says the upcoming connection carries potential for something that satisfies on every emotional level. What begins as a single exchange will open a doorway that neither of you expected to discover together. Ten of Cups confirms this encounter will feel fated, as though every previous experience led precisely here. Then we have the World, and this confirms a significant cycle reaching its completion in your life now. The World says everything you endured emotionally has been preparation for exactly this kind of destined arrival. Wholeness is available to you now, and this connection represents the final element that completes the picture. A chapter that once felt incomplete is resolving itself, and the resolution arrives through this bond specifically. You have earned this arrival through every difficult season you endured, and the universe acknowledges that fully. Now, the advice coming through from Spirit today is very clear and very important for you to hear. Do not shrink yourself when this moment arrives. Allow your full presence to occupy the space unapologetically. Trust your instincts completely during this encounter, because your intuition has always been your most reliable guide. Resist the urge to overthink their intentions afterward. Let the connection unfold at its own natural pace. Protect your energy by staying grounded in your own worth and never seek external validation from this. Remain open without abandoning your boundaries, because the right connection will always respect the limits you set. You deserve a connection that honors your depth, and Spirit is confirming that this is exactly what approaches. Now let me bring this full reading together with a recap of today's powerful message for you. The message today was this: a high-profile person is mesmerized by two unusual things about you. Those two things are your authentic inner radiance and your grounded, quiet authority that commands silent respect. The Star and the Emperor confirmed those qualities in you, while Two of Wands showed their contemplation. The Moon revealed your depth, Nine of Cups affirmed your hidden wish, and Queen of Wands showed fire. King of Cups exposed their emotional fracture, the Hermit revealed their withdrawal, and Six of Swords confirmed change. Knight of Wands showed bold pursuit, Eight of Pentacles revealed disciplined preparation, and Page of Swords showed strategy. Ace of Cups unveiled their devotion, the Lovers confirmed their sacred desire, and Seven of Cups showed visions. Ten of Cups pointed toward fulfillment arriving, and the World confirmed a beautiful cycle of completion ahead. Every single card across all six parts aligned with one truth: this person is completely mesmerized by you. You are seen and valued deeply, and the very things that set you apart are drawing them closer. This reading has been one of the most powerful confirmations of connection, and every card supported it. Trust what came through today, hold it close to your heart, and know that beautiful things await you. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and for trusting me with your reading entirely. I appreciate you more than you know, and I am sending you so much love and light always. The cards confirm that a direct encounter with this person is approaching, and it arrives within weeks. Their careful preparation is about to culminate in a moment of unmistakable and deliberate contact with you. The timing aligns with a social gathering or professional event where proximity becomes unavoidable for you both. This person will initiate a conversation that feels casual on the surface, but carries tremendous weight beneath. You will sense immediately that their words hold deeper meaning, and your intuition will confirm that instantly. This moment has been building across every layer of this reading, and now it crystallizes into something real. The universe has been orchestrating this intersection quietly, and the timing will feel almost impossibly precise. Nothing about this convergence is random or accidental. Every element has been guided toward this exact moment. The first card for the near future is the Ten of Cups, and it points toward